Let me ask you something. What if I told you that right now, this very moment, the government is sitting on money that belongs to you, and they are perfectly happy to keep it forever if you never ask for it? No fraud, no mix-up, no mistake on anyone's part. The money is real, it's legal, it has your name attached to it, and the only reason it hasn't found its way into your pocket is that nobody has ever told you to go and get it. And here's the part that should make you genuinely angry. The system wasn't designed to remind you. It was designed around the very quiet hope that you won't ask. We're talking about 5 specific ways that seniors across this country are leaving their own money on the table every single year. Some of it is tied to your taxes. Some of it is sitting in a state government account right now. And the last one we're going to cover, there are people who were absolutely certain they had nothing waiting, and they walked away with thousands of dollars. So stay with me, because this gets more important as we go. If you enjoy straightforward explanations that can save you real money, go ahead and subscribe right now. New videos come out every week, and they are designed to keep money in your pocket instead of somewhere it doesn't belong. All right, let's start with the newest one, because new is exactly what makes it the most dangerous. When something brand new gets added to the tax code, most people miss it for one simple reason. Last year it didn't exist, so nobody has the habit of looking for it yet. Starting with the 2025 tax year, there is a fresh deduction that was written into federal law specifically for people who are 65 and older. We are talking about up to $6,000 for a single person and up to $12,000 for a married couple where both spouses have reached 65. Now, the first thing most people assume when they hear deduction is that they have to itemize to get it. They picture a stack of receipts in a complicated form and they check out before they even get started. But here's the part nobody talks about. You do not have to itemize. You take the regular standard deduction just like you normally would, and this sits right on top of it, an extra layer of money that lowers the income you're taxed on before the math even starts. The income cutoffs on this one also aren't what people expect. The full amount goes to single seniors earning under $75,000 a year and to couples under $150,000. It only starts to shrink above those numbers. So this is not a benefit designed for wealthy people. It was written for people living on Social Security and a modest income on top. The exact crowd that needs it most. And here is what makes this one genuinely urgent. This deduction runs through the 2028 tax year. 4 years. Every year you don't know to claim, it is a year of it gone permanently. Think about what $6,000 actually means in a retired person's budget. That's months of groceries. That's a full year of a Medicare supplement. That's the cushion that keeps the heat on in February without you flinching at the bill every time it arrives. If someone prepares your taxes, this is the very first question out of your mouth this season. Ask them directly. Did you apply the new senior deduction for taxpayers over 65? And if you file on your own, do not let that return move forward until you have stopped and claimed it. But that's only one of 5. And the next one has been available for years, which somehow makes it worse. The moment you turn 65, the IRS quietly increases your standard deduction. Younger taxpayers don't get this. It's a bump worth well over $1,000 of your income that simply never gets taxed at all. And for a married couple where both of you are 65, it applies once for each of you. It stacks. Sounds automatic, right? That's the problem. Automatic only works if the return is prepared correctly. Every single year, people who rush through their own taxes or who are using older software that defaults to the wrong settings end up handing back money the law specifically set aside for them. If you have someone else handle your return, ask one plain question before you sign anything this year. Did you apply my age 65 standard deduction? 4 words. That's it. And those 4 words could put a real amount of money back where it belongs. Now here's where things get interesting, because number 3 works completely differently. And that difference is what makes it so powerful. There is a distinction in tax law that most people have never had explained to them, and once you understand it, you'll never look at your return the same way again. A deduction lowers the income you get taxed on. That's useful, but it doesn't erase your tax dollar for dollar. A credit comes straight off the tax you actually owe. Every dollar of credit is a dollar less you hand over. It is the most direct form of tax relief that exists. There is a credit by a real federal credit called the credit for the elderly or the disabled. It has been sitting on the books for decades, and almost nobody claims it. Depending on your filing status and income, this credit can be worth anywhere from $3,750 to $7,500, and the income limits are deliberately set low, which tells you exactly who it was designed for It was built for seniors living on Social Security and a small amount of additional income. The people who can least afford to overpay a single dime. If that description sounds like you or like someone you care about, the form is called Schedule R, and here's a gift that goes along with it. The IRS runs a free tax help program staffed by trained volunteers, set up specifically to help older Americans. They will sit with you, walk through the forms, and claim every credit you're entitled to at no charge. You don't have to pay anyone to get what is already yours. Can you believe that? A credit worth thousands of dollars, a completely free way to claim it, and it still goes unclaimed year after year because people simply don't know it exists. By the way, if you're finding this helpful, take a second and subscribe. It helps the channel, and it makes sure you don't miss the important updates coming in future videos. All right, let's move away from federal taxes entirely, because number 4 is where some of the largest individual savings are hiding. Every state in this country offers property tax relief for older homeowners. Not all of them are identical, but the options are real and they are substantial. And a stunning number of eligible people never file for a single one of them. Here's one that most people haven't heard of. It's called a circuit breaker program, and the name actually makes sense once you understand it. The idea is simple. Your income is fixed, but your property tax can keep climbing as your home's value climbs. A circuit breaker program steps in and caps how much of your income can go toward property taxes. When the tax would go higher than that cap, the state picks up the difference. In some states, that refund can run to well over $2,000 in a single year. On top of that, most states have something called a homestead exemption, which lowers the taxable value of your home before the tax rate is ever applied. And many states layer on top of that an additional exemption specifically for homeowners who are 65 and older, which in some places knocks tens of thousands of dollars off the value your home is assessed on. Now here's the cruel part. You almost always have to file for these. They don't show up automatically, and in most cases they are not retroactive, meaning if you miss the window this year, that year of savings is simply gone. There's no going back for it. Think about what that means. Picture a man who is 68 years old and has owned his home for 30 years. The value of that home has climbed steadily, so his property tax has climbed right along with it. Even though his retirement income has barely moved, he figures there's nothing he can do about it. But his state has a homestead exemption, an extra exemption for owners over 65, and a circuit breaker program that would cap what he owes relative to his income. He qualifies for all three. He's qualified for years. He just never filed the one-page form at the county office. Once he files, his annual tax bill drops by more than $1,000 a year. That's over $10,000 handed to the county across the last decade. Not because of any mistake, not because of any fine print, but because nobody at the county was ever going to knock on his door and say, hey, you should ask about this. One phone call to your county tax assessor's office. Ask what exemptions a homeowner over 65 can claim. One call, and the savings repeat every single year you stay in that home. Now, this next one surprises a lot of people because it has nothing to do with how you file your taxes, how old you are, or whether you own a home. Right now, spread across all 50 states, the government is sitting on more than $73 billion in what is officially called unclaimed property. $73 billion. And this is not confiscated money. It's not money anyone lost in a fraud. It's ordinary money that belongs to ordinary people, and it simply got lost in the shuffle of life. An old checking account at a bank that merged into a different bank. A final paycheck that was mailed to an address you left behind 15 years ago. A refund from a utility company after you closed an account. A dividend check sent to a house you moved out of decades back. By law, when a company can no longer locate the owner, that money is eventually turned over to the state, and the state holds it, sometimes for 20 or 30 years, waiting for the rightful owner to come and ask for it. It's estimated that 1 in every 10 Americans has money sitting in this pool right now. And for older Americans who have lived in more homes, worked for more employers, and opened more accounts over a longer life, the odds are even higher than that. Here's exactly how you check. And please pay attention to this next part, because there are companies that will try to charge you for something that is entirely free. Go to the official website called missingmoney.com. It is operated by the state governments themselves. Type in your name. You can also go directly to the unclaimed property office for any state you have ever lived in and search there. If money comes up with your name on it, you file the claim directly with the state. No fee, no middleman, no percentage. If anyone ever calls you or sends you a letter offering to track down your unclaimed money for a cut of whatever they find, hang up. Delete the email. You do not need them. The money is yours, the search is free, and the claim costs you nothing. This step literally takes about 2 minutes. A lot of people who were absolutely certain they had nothing waiting have walked away from that search with thousands of dollars. Now step back and look at all 5 of these together, because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. The new senior deduction for 2025, you have to know to claim it or it vanishes. The age 65 standard deduction bump, automatic in theory, missed constantly in practice. The credit for the elderly, sitting on the books for decades, claimed by almost nobody. Property tax exemptions, real savings that expire the moment you miss the filing window. And the unclaimed property pool, your money, your name, waiting in a government account until the day you walk up and ask. Not one of these arrives in your mailbox with a friendly note and your name on it. None of them send you a reminder. None of them follow up. They were all built around the same quiet assumption that you won't know, you won't ask, and you won't file. That's how thousands of dollars leave careful, honest people every year. Not through any failure on their part, through a system that was never designed to volunteer the information. So here is what I am asking you to do, and it is genuinely small. Pick one of these 5 this week, just one. Maybe tonight before you go to sleep, you spend 2 minutes on missingmoney.com and type in your name. Maybe tomorrow morning you make one phone call to your county tax office and ask what exemptions they have for homeowners over 65. Maybe the next time you talk to whoever handles your taxes, you ask them one specific question about the new senior deduction. You don't have to tackle all 5 at once. You only have to open one door, and the money on the other side of it has belonged to you the whole time. And while you're thinking about who in your life might need to hear this, picture the most careful, responsible older person you know. The kind of person who has managed every dollar honestly their whole life and would never in a million years imagine that the government might be holding cash in their name. Send this video to them today. It costs you nothing, and it may be the message that puts real money back in their hands this year, money that was always theirs, just waiting on the other side of a question nobody had ever told them to ask. If you found this useful, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a future video, and share this with someone who could use it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.